In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the DMX Values screen. So the DMX Values screen can be accessed via the main menu. Go to DMX Values. And here we can see a live feed of all of the different values that are being sent to every single channel from your Wolfmix. We can select a channel using the touchscreen or by using the buttons at the bottom. So here we can send a test value to a specific channel. So let's start by sending a test value to channel 1. And you may be able to see that top left fixture on the truss is now moving. So that's because channel 1 is actually the pan of that fixture. So this is really helpful for testing your fixtures. This is not really something that you would use for programming. But of course, if you did make some changes here and you actually wanted to keep them, you can even use the Record DMX button up the top here to save this to a live edit. If I press this, I can now choose to store every channel or just the ones that I've edited. So let's press Edited. There we go, and that's been saved to Live Edit 9, as we can see over here. We can also set a default value from this screen. So the default value is kind of like a base level value that the Wolfmix will use if nothing else is enabled in the effects or the static screens. So for example, this pan channel has a default value of 127. So if I disable the move effects and all positions, the default value will be recalled. If I press the encoder, we can choose the fade type. So this is all to do with preset fading. So currently we're set to fade, which means that as a preset is fading, this particular value will go from the current value to the new value along with the fade. If I change this to jump after, the value will hold during the fade, and then it will jump to the new value after the preset has completed its fade. We can also do jump before, so the value will jump before the fade starts and it will hold throughout the duration of the fade. So this is mostly useful for things like gobos, where maybe you want to decide whether the gobos will jump before the fade or after the fade. This will automatically assign itself depending on the channel type. So typically you won't need to use this, but it's good to know that it's there if you do want to make that change. We can set a DMX input channel. So this is useful for if you have a third-party DMX fader board, for example, and you want to connect it to the Wolfmix to get some control over some of these channels. We'll have a separate tutorial for this, so do check that out. Finally, of course, we have the channel paging, so we can go from channel 0 all the way to channel 512. Of course, that is all of the channels in Universe 1, but we can view the channels in Universe 2, 3, or 4 using the buttons at the top. If I press this little cogwheel icon at the top, we enter the beam editor. So when you patch a fixture into the Wolfmix will automatically analyze it and it will assign each feature to the relevant channels. So let's take a look at, for example, the moving head over here. So the Wolfmix already knows that the dimmer is assigned to channel 10. It knows that the pan is assigned to channel 1 and the tilt is assigned to channel 2. So like I say, the Wolfmix will automatically analyze your fixtures for you, but you can always go in here and make some changes if there's something that's not quite right and you don't have time to edit the profile yourself. It's more an advanced feature, this one, but it's good to know that it's there if needed. Of course, you can always check the reference guide for more information. So that's all for the DMX Value screen, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.